Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day today. It's a brand new round of the playoffs, kicking off the round of 12 in Iowa for the Iowa Corn 400 as we come in above the cut line. Keselowski, Reddick, Logano, Hamlin all below as Elliott at the top here coming into this round of 12. Of course, Elliott so strong over the course of this season. Now 6 wins he has got to his name. He's been, absolutely insane behind the wheel in that Napa Auto Parts Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet. But we're into the round now where, one race can absolutely ruin your playoffs no matter where you are in the standings. So got to be careful, got to be on it here at all times, especially in this round. And it's going to be a bit challenging for us here, that's for sure, in this round of the playoffs. And we had big news coming into this weekend here in Iowa now. Some breaking news from Trackhouse Racing, and it was big breaking news from Trackhouse Racing. Now, that will be coming out in the pre-show with Rick Allen and the NBC guys, so stay tuned for that in just a few moments' time. But we rolled through into qualifying here. Let's see what we can do in Iowa. Still no backing, no help, no assistance from colleague. They really don't care about me, and we are both ready to move on. They're ready to go to Alex Bowman in the 16 car. I'm ready to go to the 19 car at Joe Gibbs, replacing Martin Truex Jr. Through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway though into turns 3 and 4. I like to run the top in 1 and 2, but it's really hard to find speed there in qualifying. So we're in the bottom both ends of the racetrack, and the goal was a 23.171, and then it changes to a 157, which we match, and we go P15 here in the Iowa Corn 400. So pretty happy overall with that qualifying effort, to be honest. And we'll take a look at who's on pole. It's Keselowski. How about that? Still winless on the season, but in the round of 12, Hamlin, Larson, Bell, Logano, Byron, McDowell, Bowman, Elliott, and Josh Berry as well in the top 10. How about Josh Berry for Stewart Haas Racing up there in the mix? At the bottom of the grid, we got Ryan Vargas there, joined by Harrison Burton. We did have Xfinity Series racing this weekend, but they were actually in Talladega, and we would see Sammy Smith pick up a win there, and Sammy Smith actually going to be behind the wheel of a Cup car here next episode in Texas, so stay tuned on that as you see the rest of the finishing order there on your screen. Let's get ready to go racing and a Trackhouse announcement.
A new round of the playoffs are here as the Cup Series takes on Iowa Speedway for the first time. However, that's not been the focus of the weekend so far.
Yeah, Rick, big news from Trackhouse this weekend, and they are expanding into the Xfinity Series with a one-car team next season, and on top of that, they announced that Shane Van Gisbergen will be in a third full-time Cup car for them next season.
A big move for Trackhouse as they continue to focus on Chastain's efforts in the playoffs. I think they will finally have a powerhouse team and lineup next year.
All right, team, it's not going to be an easy round. Some tracks in here that can really throw anything at us, including tonight.
Absolutely, bud. Hang in there all night and we'll be there at the end.
We're ready to go racing, and you see immediately Larson and Dylan going to the back. Of course, the big one being Larson in the playoffs. 2 wins on this season, including a playoff race at Darlington. You heard the Trackhouse news. Not only are they expanding to a Xfinity team, but as well announcing SVG Shane Van Gisbergen, who we haven't seen in the Cup Series in a while. He's been focused on his trucks and Xfinity efforts, but he will be full-time for Trackhouse next season in the Cup Series. Some big news from that team as they continue to try and take over the NASCAR world. We are underway here for the first race of the round of 12 from Iowa Speedway. Now as we head on this run towards turn number 1, right behind that Monster Energy number 45 2311 car of Tyler Reddick. Now of course he picked up a win in that first round of 16. Hendrick Motorsports so looking like the favorite as the playoffs have kicked off here. Now Christopher Bell out in front through 3 and 4. We're already 3 wide. I expect to see a lot of 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide tonight here in Iowa, and the main reason for that is the Cup Series first race ever at this track is because we've got a lot of multi-groove capabilities here. You're going to see the AI get around, is actually getting to the left door right there of Ryan Blaney, but yeah, the AI, they kind of search around this track. The inside is the quickest, but they just like to go up to the top, kind of like Bristol for whatever reason, and fortunately the outside it is capable of doing stuff, mainly on the restarts. So you're going to see me on the restarts get aggressive if the option is there to jump up to the top. But Christopher Bell out to an early lead right now over Ross the Boss Chastain and that number 1 Busch Light Machine just behind him. We're side by side with Ryan Parise, not quite to where we want to be. Stage points is what we're looking for. Top 10s. We haven't had a top 10 yet in the playoffs. And obviously, Bristol, we were in prime position to change that, but I choked on the last restart. There was no grip. The car, I mean, just about wrecked itself. The fact that I didn't wreck was more impressive than I think anything else I've done in that entire race. But we continue on here, P13, and William Byron kind of slipping down the order to the back of Ty Gibbs, who just stomped on the brake pedal right there, and he's sideways on the exit of turn 2, saves it. That stacks up everybody there, trying to not force the issue on him, trying to give him the room to make sure that nothing went wrong right there. Chris Buescher right now out in front, so no longer the 20 of Christopher Bell as we continue in this little battle with the number 54 of Ty Gibbs as we continue to try and utilize this inside. Now we've been able to settle into the bottom and start making some headway, and we'll pass the 54. We'll get alongside the 24, and we will be able to pass him as well, and we would continue on. William Byron struggling. It's been a winless season for William Byron, which is hard to believe. He's in the round of 12. He's had consistency. He hasn't found victory, however. Now passing McDowell to move into the top 10. Chastain, you're next. He was up towards the front early on in the race, but you can see when the AI, they jump up to the top, they lose so much time here in Iowa, and you're going to see them, you know, just go from the top, go to the bottom, and kind of go back and forth, basically, as the race goes on. So up into P9 as we continue to move forward here, lap 14 at this point, and you can see now Christopher Bell is up next on our list here to, of course, move past, and right now it's still Chris Buescher out in front in that number 17 Ford Mustang as he's looking for another win on the season. Kozlowski running P7 right now, but he jumps up to the top. That's where the opportunity is going to come in for both myself and Christopher Bell. But as this run continues to go on, the tires continue to wear. The car is starting to get a little bit more free, so that was starting to present a bit of a challenge to myself here now. But Bell, he was able to successfully complete the pass on the 6, and I would try to follow through, unsuccessful. The 6 drops back down to the bottom. The 20 goes to the top, so the rows got reversed. The 6 moved past him and drove away, and now I would actually pass the 20 of Christopher Bell, just about not quite clear on the exit of turn 2, and with now 9 to go on the stage, Larson, Truex had run us down. Larson started at the back. Caution out for the first time today, and it's for Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, the regular season champ, the number 1 seed in the playoffs, is going to be out early in stage 1 of the round of 12. Another major tire failure for the 9 car, which we have seen multiple times, several times this season. That 9 car has had the worst luck when it comes to tires this season. And of course, that's going to, you know, be a bit of a hit. And actually, look at this, Ty Gibbs is out of the race as well. 11 laps down, never noticed that. So under green, he had some kind of issue, and that brought him into the pits and ended the day. We gain nothing in the pits, but Larson gains 2 spots here now as Elliott and Gibbs both out in stage number 1. We're back underway here from Iowa now. It's only going to be 4 or 5 laps of racing. How about Josh Berry up there on the front row? P2 right now for Stewart-Haas. We've continued to see that team make improvements, and of course downgrading to a 2-car team next season. Things are looking quite promising when they're starting to see a few cars, you know, get more competitive with the 4-car program here. So don't write off SHR going into next season now that they will be once again a 2-car team like the early days of that team when Tony Stewart, of course, came over from Joe Gibbs back in 2009 to make that team what it was at that point in time here. Now we continue 3 wide up the inside of Larson. Kozlowski as well. Larson has gone from the back to the top 10 in just 1 stage. Does that 5-car have a car capable of winning? Maybe not, but he's looking very good right now. We pass Kozlowski here. Lap 27 of 29. Chris Buescher has dominated this opening stage, and here he is leading the way now by several car lengths as Larson decided to jump up to the top. I say thank you very much. I'll take the free P7 as we come to the final lap of the stage. Hamlin doing the same thing, running the top. That allowed me to his inside, and we're up to P6 on this final lap of stage number 2. Bell long gone, or sorry, not Bell, Buescher long gone. Bell just in front of us for 5th. Up there in second, that's Logano and Alex Bowman just behind him as they exit for Chris Buescher. Wins stage number 1 here in the first round of the playoffs. We cross the stripe. He's 6th in stage 1. So 5 stage points, no complaints whatsoever. Plenty of playoff presence, but a few, you know, surprise names as Bowman, Barry as well. No playoff appearances for them, but in the top 10 as that 48 car continues to run well, and a couple cars pitting. That's Truex and someone else there with him as well. But then right at the end of the caution, everybody decides to pit, so of course we're going to come as well. Reddick as well, right there briefly was staying out, but he would eventually get into the pits. So we gained 2 spots. Row 2, P4, looking very, very good. And I say we get aggressive here on this restart. We might have only 1 chance to get the lead here tonight. We're going to take it right now as we're going to try and force the issue on Logano and Buescher. We'll jump up to the top. We'll go immediately 3 wide around the outside. But hold on, we were briefly 4 because the 4 car of Josh Berry's gone through on the inside into the lead. Josh Berry out in front. We continue those side by side into turn 3. We're alongside him through the center of the corner, but you can see immediately it was good for 1 corner. The 4 car is going to be able to get clear of me now as we cross the stripe. We do fight back here briefly on the 17 of Buescher, who was able to go up the inside as well. But yeah, I mean, definitely a reality check just as quickly as I thought. There might have been some hype around this race. Into the outside wall on the exit of turn 2, damage done to the right side of the car immediately there, and that's the problem right off the bat. And I noticed it in stage 1, and we tried to make some adjustments to counteract it, but the car is really tight on the short run, and then on the long run it's too free, so I can't, you know, I can't put the throttle down comfortably at the beginning of a run because it's going to plow, and I can't put the throttle down comfortably long in a run because it's going to spin out. So there's, right now, it's kind of the worst of both worlds kind of car. Honestly surprised we're doing as good as we are. And what's as well surprising me, Noah Gragson is here in the top 10 now. He's right behind me as we're going to turn number 1, and he actually shows the nose way too late there into the corner. He's sideways. He saves it.
I had no time to react. He dove it in so late, dude.
Unfortunate for Gragson, but he's going in the right direction, and he's got speed in that 62. He continues to impress, you know, in his races in that car. Is he going to get a ride maybe full-time in Cup next season, or maybe even Xfinity? We'll have to stay tuned. Up the inside, here comes Chastain. We passed the 4 now of Josh Berry. We're 3 wide there. I mean, this car is still plowing tight on lap 7, and then it's gonna, you know, hit that point where it's too free probably as well a little bit later on in this run. But for now, I mean, we're in the battle right here with Chastain for 3rd, but unfortunately I just wasn't able to get past him. And here comes Eric Jones, and Buescher continues to lead. Chris Buescher dominated stage 1, was able to pick up the stage 1 victory, looking just as good here in stage 2, but he's up on the top now, which is going to leave him vulnerable to that 20. Eric Jones slips through on the inside. We're starting to see some more non-playoff presence again, because here comes a few laps later, lap 12 of the stage. Noah Gragson's back. Now that's kind of frightening here. That 62 is looking strong. To the lead, the 20 of Christopher Bell. Now, as you continue to look behind us, and now we have hit the point where now I'm getting loose again. So we're hitting that just complete turnover point, and really isn't that gradual and smooth of a transition. It's just really abrupt. It just kind of happens in a lap or so. And you can see there is now 3 playoff drivers in the top 5, or sorry, 3 non-playoff drivers in the top 5, all having great runs here, but we are still led by a playoff contender of Christopher Bell, which has been, you know, a very solid season for Christopher Bell here. But I was starting to search around what the struggles of the grip of this car. Noah Gragson is now past Buescher, who's dropped down to 4th place, and right now Eric Jones into 2nd, as yeah, Hamlin's getting past me, Chastain's on me, Bowman's back on me. Bowman, a great stage 1, fell back on the restart. He's fighting back now on the exit of turn 2, lap 16. Look at this, to the inside goes that Ally Financial Chevrolet. We know Bowman, of course, will not be re-signed by Hendrick going into next season. He will be driving my car at Colleague Racing next season, and he was in position to win in Kansas, if you guys remember, and his tire blew while he led that race late in the day. It was heartbreaking for Alex Bowman, who was continuing to move forward. He passed Hamlin, he passed Kozlowski, and he drove the cars in front down. He's already up there in that mix for the lead, but right now Eric Jones out in front. Noah Gragson would actually take the lead in the 62. I cannot believe what I'm seeing at this point here now. Noah Gragson in the 62 part-time car who was really invested into Gregson in the last half of the season, was briefly out in front, but Bowman would then take the lead as I continued to struggle, slip around, search around the racetrack to find any bit of grip. The inside wasn't quite doing it anymore. Gregson retakes the lead late here in stage 2, but I mean, we have now dropped to P11. Obviously meaning we're not getting any stage points here now, and here comes Carson Hocevar, an unexpected move up the inside right there. Not what I wanted to see as we just continue to struggle. It's horrendous on this long run. We're coming to the final lap of the stage, and now my teammate of AJ Allmendinger up the inside. Gregson, white flag in stage 2. He's about to win this stage now. I'm just hanging on. You can see it slipping and sliding like crazy, but Gregson, sure enough, wins the stage. Wow. We're going to exit turn 4. Allmendinger gets Hocevar there for P11. It's going to be P13 for us there. 10th place crosses the line. The caution flies. Not good. Not good at all. We're going to need some help in stage 3 because we've really realized the vulnerabilities, and at this point, I don't think there's much I can really do in terms of the adjustments, because we're getting both polar opposites of the car's capabilities. It's too tight early, it's too loose later. So we're going to hope for, realistically, maybe a caution around the halfway point of stage 3 and see if any other opportunities, of course, present itself going into this final stage. But right now, not looking pretty here as we get ready to roll for stage 3. And we'll be on the inside here, P13, so that limits our options to go up to the outside and get a little bit aggressive here. But nonetheless, stage 3, it's underway, and it's just under 40 laps to go in this race. Noah Gregson's going to lead the field down into this first corner here up the inside of the rookie of Carson Hocevar, who continues to, as well, really step up his performance lately here in this career mode now. And I always love watching that because it's like I haven't touched his rating all season long in the mods, and he has those days where he's really showing up right now. But Gregson leads, but he's on the outside. He's got the 43 of Eric Jones up his inside across the stripe at the end of this first lap. 37 remain up the inside of that Bass Pro Shops machine of Martin Truex Jr. Been a quiet season for Truex, but consistent enough to, of course, be in the playoffs and in the round of 12 in the playoffs here now. Keselowski, however, is going to maybe ruin the dream for Noah Gregson. Brad Keselowski's come out of nowhere, and he's taken the lead of this race. He came in, the last seed, I think, in the round of 12. The most work to be done of anybody, and here he is now leading this race in the final stage. Keselowski has yet to win at all here in this career mode. Could he change that here today? I would be down. I would love to see a Keselowski win, but I think it's going to be difficult, and Keselowski was so strong last episode as well in Bristol. So yeah, I mean, Ty Gibbs as well was really strong in Bristol, and I think Gibbs was going to be strong today as well. Just didn't get to showcase it because he was out, the first 10 laps just about of that race. Now we're split 3 wide. Busher around the outside, who of course ran so well in the first half of the race, not looking so hot here in stage 3. Ryan Blaney up my inside. Now caution flies here in stage number 3, actually, and that's actually, it's going to be for Tyler Reddick. The 45 of Tyler Reddick brings out the caution in the number 45. He's going to pit, but I'm actually going to pit as well. We are going to come in and basically fill it up, throw 4 tires on, make a slight adjustment here on tire pressures, and wedge is at 50.1 right now. And the hope is that this is going to bring us close enough to where we can maybe make it on fuel, or have to save a little bit and make it while everybody else might have to pit under green, because I did not like the pace of the car in the long run. I don't like the direction it was going, so we're going to try something different here now. We've got 30 laps to make it happen. 30 laps of racing remain as Eric Jones was fighting Keselowski. He's up the inside of Keselowski through turn 1. Actually, we're going to slice through. So myself and Reddick, we're on the same strategy right now. So we'll see, of course, the comparisons between himself and I. Now, I wasn't looking at the fuel immediately. I can confirm, though, we were 4 laps short about on fuel. So not quite what I was looking for, but I think we can save 4 laps on a short track in 29 laps here in NASCAR Heat 5. So don't write it off. This basically has to stay green. Now, if there is a caution, there is a world where we can still benefit from it. So we will be able to maybe take less tires or something depending on the time of the caution. Gregson back out in front here with 28 to go. So it was a mix of Keselowski and Jones on the restart, but it switches back to that 62. We continue to go through the traffic, and I'm bringing Reddick with me. Reddick's right on my bumper, but we're passing Truex, Bubba Wallace, John Hunter Nemechek, And how about William and Byron continuing to struggle here tonight and down in 19th. We're into the top 20 with just over 25 to go, so we're making really good progress there. Bringing Reddick with us, like I mentioned here. 25 to go, right to the back of the 34 and the 12 now of Ryan Blaney as well. Still leading is Noah Gregson. Really impressive here tonight. Could he actually pull off the win? That would be an unbelievable story if he's able to pull this off now, as Corey LaJoy runs P16, just eliminated, of course, in that last round. Here comes Tyler Reddick up my inside now. This could be the battle for the win if it stays green. You never know. Reddick gets clear with 24 laps to go, but he jumps up to the top on lap 77. Thank you very much. All that work he just did, we're just going to wipe it off the face of the earth now. We'll pass him as we go into turn 1. Lap 78, Reddick immediately on our outside has gone crashing into the outside wall. Tire failure there, and that's going to be 2 cautions in a row from the 45. And now that is going to bring in this scenario that we didn't want to see, which was a caution. However, the benefit, we're going to take 2 tires and 2 tires only. Half a can of fuel is all we need. Reddick is still in the race, but look at this. 2 tires, we don't gain anything because everybody else took 2 tires. Here's the benefit though. The advantage is still in our court. Alex Bowman was able to get the lead there, but the advantage is still in our court because with the AI as well taking only 2 tires, that means we are still on fresher left sides. So it doesn't sound like a lot because we're on equal rights, but that left side advantage, well, it's only 2% worn from the racing we just did. So we've got quite an advantage there. So we can still put this to use, and I was proving that immediately. We are still slicing through traffic. Passing the 20 of Christopher Bell. We'll get clear on the exit of turn 2. It's game on now. Alex Bowman leads over the 6. Gregson has dropped like a rock on this restart. He's down to P11 now, about to be P12 under the back of Hocevar as we continue to try and slice our way through this traffic. Now Ryan Blaney looking at my left rear. I'm up the inside of my teammates here of AJ Omendinger now, and into turn 1. Now into the top 10 to the back of Hocevar on the exit of turn 2. We'll try to dive to the inside. Bowman still leads the 6 of Kozlowski. Hot on his bumper. Both drivers looking for the first wins of this career mode series. One driver wants it a lot more to make sure he's into the next round of the playoffs, but Alex Bowman's trying to prove he belongs here in the Cup Series in what has not been a very strong, of course, Cup Series, tenure in the last 2 seasons with Hendrick Motorsports, but he could change that tonight here. Now we clear Chastain. We'll pass Larson in the process as well. We continue now to the inside of Denny Hamlin with just 11 laps to go, but we have used this left side's being fresher advantage to a huge success. Now passing Logano as well, 3 wide on him, and Busher, who's rallied back to a solid effort there. Up into P4. What a turnaround here as we're now to the back of Eric Jones, and look how much deeper we can get into the entrance and especially the center of the corner, leaning on the 43's quarter panel a little bit there on the exit of turn 2, but no harm, no foul. Into turn 3, we would get side by side, but it wouldn't be till turn 1 again where we will clear the 43 up into 3rd. Bowman driving away from the 6 of Kozlowski. Alex Bowman has been trying so hard. He's had quick cars and things have gone wrong, just like the last round at Kansas where he was leading late and a tire blew, took him out of the race. Now 5 laps to go here from Iowa, and now my car was starting to slip and slide around a little bit, so now I know I can't do anything at this point. Just bring it home at this point now. Out of turn 4, coming to 4 to go. Eric Jones up the inside, and this is gonna, of course, put us down into the 4th position, but Alex Bowman would continue to open up the gap, and we would come to the final 2 laps of racing, approaching the white flag, and the white flag is waving. Alex Bowman takes it now. Is the bad luck finally over for the 48, maybe the unluckiest driver in the career mode ever? Up the inside, Busher is for me, and we're gonna be dropped down to P5 unless we can fight back on the exit of the corner, struggling with the handling, but thankfully it's the final lap. What a turnaround of events for us that will help us tremendously in points. But out of turn 4, Alex Bowman and the Alex Bowman fans of this channel are happy today. Alex Bowman finally wins in the 48. We exit turn 4 to hold off Chastain by 3/4 of a car length there for P5. Thank goodness that race ended when it did, because we were starting to drop like a rock. Alex Bowman finally does it. All of Colleague Racing in the top 10. Great to see, as I still care about my teammates, unlike Colleague doesn't care about me. And I'm sure they're not happy, honestly, that we finished as good as we did. Let's take a look at the playoff standings. We are tied. It's a 3-way tie at the top between myself, Larson, and Busher, 28 above, Chastain 26, but the guys below. Hamlin out by 1, Truex out by 8, same for Byron, Reddick out by 18, of course, with the poor finish from that crash late. Elliott only in by 1. What a story that could be for the regular season champion if he goes out. That's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys in the next episode where we head to Texas, probably the most challenging track of the playoffs for me. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day.